The short story is basically having a passion for exposing kids to music that's a little more broad than the classical experience. And what's really important is that what I do, it does not erase or push aside classical music. We're here to augment it. My electric violins are not to replace the beautiful Stradivariuses and acoustic instruments. This is all an additional thing. It's very similar to the way the guitar world is, in that there's acoustic and electric. Now, as far as the educational stuff, what's so interesting is that I have found a system of educational models in schools that they all play violin in. It's like, wow, where do I go to share what I do on my electric stuff and work with kids who play the same instrument? I mean, it's like a perfect environment for me, because it's a bigger picture. It's not only the educational experience, it's me as an artist being able to find a vehicle to express myself, not only through my art and my music, but actually expressing myself through my philosophy about music and my concepts about music making on these type of instruments. I get out the tremendous pleasure of seeing kids who may be a little lost, who may sort of be sticking out as being the odd people in the school system, and finding them a vehicle so that they can express themselves. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. I get a lot of pleasure out of developing a cult philosophy with string players. The challenge of string players, as you know, because the cliche of string players for the past 100 years is that we're nerdy and uptight. How did that happen? I have no idea. But when you look, unfortunately, at the state of the symphony orchestras now, we're losing a lot of them. The audiences are senior citizens. We've got a crisis happening here where the violin, cello, and viola might actually become museum pieces, where the guitar, synthesizers, computers are obviously king and very relevant in this society. I really wanted to bring back stringed instruments to become incredible, important, and relevant, and modern, and cutting edge, and ultimately, the most important word is it's got to be cool. I really hope that the kids leave tonight feeling like they've experienced something they've never experienced before, which is the feeling of presenting themselves to a large audience. People tend to be shy, of course, and people tend to shy away from expressing themselves outside of their closet or their shower, you know, and the people who sort of hide their talents because they're too shy, and they never break out of that wall. Kids who tonight play with me on the stage feel like they're 10 feet off the ground now. Now, I can't guarantee that it will last for the rest of their lives. Hopefully I'll come back and elevate them again, but the feeling that they have of themselves and the experience of working with somebody who actually does this for a living is truly a unique experience for them. The way I approach this whole experience, because some of the time I only have 48 hours to do the impossible, which is prepare for an hour-long concert with people I've never met before. And boy, I've had some really interesting experiences, as you could imagine. This particular one in Aurora, they've set up such a great environment for me that was professional. The kids were well behaved. So our start point, we're already in good shape. So my goal is to focus in less on that, you know, F sharp in the third measure, less on this slur, less on make sure your bow arm's straight, more on smile, tap your foot, move to the music, feel it. Right here, you need to be tighter with this kind of music. All sorts of suggestions that I'm prepping them for a 48-hour experience of rehearsals and preparation for a concert, so that when they hit the stage, they're mentally prepared to express themselves. And that's it. It's that simple. as brief as I can, the experience of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra with me, and 10 years ago, my friends calling me on the telephone saying, hey man, I've got this great idea. We're going to put rock and roll to classical music. Who's going to listen to that, guys? I was like, it's been done before. Not sure if anyone's going to show up, but you know what? I'm in. So they wanted me to be sort of the orchestra part of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Mark, you take care of the strings and the orchestra part. We'll do the rock and roll stuff. And you fast forward in 8 years, we, sell out 4 shows at the Gund. I mean, that's unbelievable. And we're talking multi-platinum records. We just got a gold record from the record we just released 3 months ago. That's 500,000 in 6 weeks. So I'm enjoying myself a lot, and I find that the combination of that experience, I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm sort of under the radar in my rock and roll violin thing, but what the TSO has given me is the opportunity to be involved with a band that actually is the perfect gig for me, because I'm a rock and roller, but I'm also a classical musician. So where do I find work? I don't play fiddle music, so I don't want to move to Nashville. I don't really play jazz. I play rock and roll on the violin. Where am I going to find work? So the Trans-Siberian Orchestra was like a blessing in disguise for me, because after all these years, it's parlayed me into being exposed to hundreds of thousands of people. And a lot of those people, like the mother who is at the school, saw me and says, hey, can you come to my school? I was like, okay. It was that easy.